Storm Tracker weather with Chief Meteorologist Chicago Wendler.
Get ready for some chilly nights. Here's a look at your Sunday forecast. The rain has come to an end, and now we're watching as sunshine's developing in what will become a very chilly next several days. As we speak, temperatures at lunchtime are running in the 50s across central Texas. It's just 56 degrees. Clouds are trying to clear out to make room for some sunshine. And if we see a decent amount of sun, that should propel temperatures to the low 60s. If we stay socked in the clouds, it may be a little chillier. Speaking of which, look at Mason and Doss out toward Fredericksburg, still in the 40s, even at lunchtime. And I am now forecasting our first official freeze for Austin by the time we reach Tuesday morning. So we'll talk more about that in just a second. For now, the upper level low tracking to the east out of Oklahoma and into Arkansas. That's going to send kind of that back edge of this storm system away from us and eventually should clear our clouds out. Meantime, down south in the Gulf, that's the rainmaker that we experienced the last couple of days, pushing off toward our east. So the overriding theme is we're going to have a cold front push through early tomorrow, and behind it, no rain, just chilly temperatures. This comes on the heels of what has so far, with 2 days left to go, been the second warmest November on record. 67.6 degrees is our average temperature through the first 28 days of the month. It's probably going to drop a little bit because of today and tomorrow being chillier. The record in 1927 will not be beat. For the rest of today, looking for developing sunshine, temperature right around 61 degrees, cool and brisk with those north-northwest winds about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, we'll have clear skies in place, and that's going to pave the way for some really cold temperatures. Now in the hill country, you could see a freeze tonight into tomorrow morning down to 31 Mason, 30 in Fredericksburg, and 32 in Llano. But most other locations should be cold, but not quite cold enough for a freeze. That changes though as we head into Monday night and into Tuesday morning. Before we get to that, with that weak front pushing through, reinforcing the cold air already in place for Monday, 8 a.m. temperature 37, lunchtime 49, high temperature for your Monday only 56 degrees. That is 10 degrees cooler than normal. All right, let's take you hour by hour. As you can see, through this afternoon, we're going to be hovering in the upper 50s to low 60s with sunshine by late day. Then overnight tonight, still keeping a decent amount of wind in place. If not for the wind, temperatures would be even colder for early tomorrow morning. Then as we head through your Monday, midday in the upper 40s and high temperatures only in the 50s for your Monday. And that's going to pave the way by midnight tomorrow night for 30s pretty much across the board. Where will that leave us by Tuesday morning? Well, here's what I'm thinking. At Camp Mabry, I'm forecasting 31 degrees. That will be our first freeze of the season so far. Our average first freeze, incidentally enough, is today, November 29th. Coldest so far this season, 39, all the way back on October 28th. On the other hand, out at the airport, I'm forecasting 24 degrees. That would be 1 degree above a record low. Average first freeze November 25th. Coldest so far this season, the airport has already seen a freeze, 32 back on November 16th. So how cold in other locations? How about 20 on Tuesday morning in Llano? Morning low of 26 in Bastrop, 28 Rockdale, 28 in San Marcos, and 23 in Fredericksburg. Record low for Austin proper is 25, so I do not expect a record there. Either way, remember the 4 Ps: protect people, pets, plants, and in the coldest spots, wrap the pipes as well. So let's flip the switch. We're talking about the cold, but also what about the rain that we had? Officially for Camp Mabry, we picked up 69 1/100ths of an inch of rain over the last 3 days. That brought our monthly total up to just shy of 3/4 of an inch. Out at the airport, 83 1/100ths of an inch. So even though we did get the beneficial rain, we are still over 2 inches below normal, and I do not expect any additional rain for the rest of November, so we will end with quite the deficit. Last 5 days, the big winners in the rainfall department, parts of Bastrop County, parts of Fayette County picked up more than 2 inches of rain. The big losers out in Mason, Gillespie, and Llano County, where you saw less than 1/2 of an inch. Meantime, look at the Houston area, 3 to 6 to 7 to even a couple of isolated 8-inch spots. out of the same storm system. So the drought monitor that was released last week probably will not change, which is good, because had we not gotten this rain, the drought probably would have worsened. But I think we're going to bandage it up for at least a week before things start going downhill again, with drier weather expected beyond this next 7 days. As for the next 7, don't count on rain. I've got a 20% chance on Wednesday with a weak system pulling through yet another front. Most areas will probably see little, if any, rain. Another big subject, of course, this has been a record-setting hurricane season in the Atlantic. It officially ends tomorrow, November 30th. And wouldn't you know it? It's not going to go without a fight. There is a 40% development chance of a non-tropical area of low pressure way out in the eastern Atlantic, but say it isn't so. We're still tracking things in the tropics even one day prior to the end. Here's the next 7 days. High temperature 61 for today, overnight tonight falling to 37 with a freeze in the hill country. Cold front comes through on a dry note early. High temperature just 56 for your Monday afternoon. The deep freeze coming Monday night into Tuesday morning, 31 in Austin. Then on Tuesday afternoon, up to 63 degrees. Wednesday, another front comes through. I think it'll be mainly dry for most of us. Could squeak out a shower or two east of I-35. High temperature 64. Behind that cold front, we drop back into the 50s for a couple more days. We may be back down into the 30s for lows. And then Saturday starting to rebound into the mid-60s. That's your latest forecast. Avery Tomasco will have an update for you later on tonight on CBS Austin News. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.